Testing. Well, guys, it was a mess out there, wasn't it? My voice is gone. I'm sure a lot of our voices are gone. Um, yeah, that was horrible. I don't know what to say. That was a horrible, horrible day today, man. And I'm dropping shit. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, that was pretty bad here, man. Texans lose. They lose. Not only they lose, they get stomped out of there again. Whether they come here, we go there. We can't seem to pull out the dub, man, when it comes to the Vikings, man. And I don't know. We're 6-0. Well, 0-6 against them guys now. And today, it wasn't any different. Those guys have our number. I still remember. I want to say back in 2012 when we were on that 12-game win streak. Or whatever the streak was, and we were going to coast our way into a first-round bye with Matt Schaub and company. And, we end up dropping a game to Minnesota Vikings. They came here. All we had to do was win. We had 3 games left, I believe, and all we had to do was just win one of them. And, that was probably the start of it. But yeah, we can't pull it off for them against them for some reason. I don't know why. The main points of the day, man, of what caused it. First of all, let's start off with our all-pro left tackle. Anybody with eyes can see that Laramie has been detrimental to the offensive drives as of late. Last game in the Bears, he committed 2 or 3 penalties. Today, it was like 5 false starts, illegal motions, and such. Dude, I had a couple of interactions with some guys on social media that were posting stats in regards to Laramie Tunsil's all-pro blocking, and he's number 1 in blocking efficiency this year and whatever. Number 1 ranked. But when it all came down to it, Laramie, I had a point of saying, yeah, that's good here and there, that he's, when he blocks, he blocks. But what good does that blocking do when your damn left tackle is first of all, the leader of that offensive line, leader of the team. He's a leader. But he can't get his false starts under control. And it's good to be twitchy and not give up a sack and this and that, but what's the difference outside of, I had a discussion with a guy on a popular content creator for the Texans. We had a back and forth about what good is it? My point of it, he posted the stats about Laramie Tunsil, and my point, being top dog in pass blocking efficiency this season. And my point was, okay, that's fine. And yeah, we won the game, but as a leader, what good is pass blocking top tier? But then you if they counted those penalties and sacks, you wouldn't be, at that efficiency rating, because hey, today there was a drive where CJ threw, completed a pass. We were down, and we needed these drives, and he was completing them. And Laramie Tunsil, his false starts just completely negated the energy and pushing us back in 3rd and 16, 3rd and 11, all day. We had to sit from 3rd and long. Penalties. It wasn't just Tunsil, but 5 of them were on him. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it's mental at this point, because this has to be his worst game ever. Between college and now. I got to go and do the research. Somebody do the research and let me know if I don't get it out first. What was the most penalties that Laramie Tunsil has ever created in a game? And again, we're not gonna bash him and say that, he's not that guy. He is that guy. He's a top tier left tackle. But what's the trade off if you're gonna be the top penalty creator at their position? At man. And one person, 5 penalties off of one person, and you're a veteran, that's inexcusable. Man, I love you, Tonsil, bro. We need you. We need you to tighten up, man. You're going to have to tighten up. And I can't tell you that I don't block. I'm not, I'm not out there. I don't know what you're going through. But whatever it is, man, you still have to get it under control. All this pressure and all this power was on you. You are the starting left tackle of the Houston Texans, bro. You're going to have to clean that up, man. You're going to have to clean that up, man. I know you just had that knee surgery and whatever. I'm still one who believes that this is just the beginning of the season and that these guys are just, getting their feet on the ground and gelling. But it ain't, you got to come on with it, man, because I called it earlier. I just did a stream earlier today before the game. And I said that it wasn't going to be won off of the passing game. It just wasn't because to be honest, if anybody wants to be honest, CJ is basically still a rookie. He is a second year QB, but he's still new to the league and he still hasn't seen it all. And so he was forced to turn the ball over for sure once. And he threw it behind the receiver, but it's still, he threw it where there was double coverage around that receiver, and one of those receivers made the play. I mean, one of those defenders made the play. You got earlier in the game, he threw a pick off of a batted pass. I told you, with the Texans, I said this earlier in the stream, the Texans were going to have to play solid football with few mistakes, very few mistakes, because Sam Darnold is a veteran, and he's not going to be missing those deep throws. Something like even today, they showed a clip of Caleb Williams, missing a wide open throw to, I want to say, DJ Moore. And I'll try to pull it up here for you too at the same time. I'll try to pull it up. But CJ, man, he's still learning. And we know we give him all these accolades and praises, and he deserves it. He deserves it. It's not on him. He did throw that one pick that was on him, definitely. But these guys are gonna have to, figure something out. Slowick is gonna have to figure something out because he got all these weapons on his team, and he's not able to get these guys in position. Justin Jefferson, there was no reason why Justin Jefferson should have been dominating the way he was dominating when you have Stingley and Lassiter. And it was just too many times in the game today that Justin Jefferson was getting wide open where with Eric Murray on him. Eric Murray is like our third string safety, second string. He's a veteran, but man, Justin Jefferson is a special player. I would have been having, Justin Jefferson followed by Stingley and Lassiter the whole game, and maybe put, Petrie on, Jones or whoever, that because these guys were making plays and we couldn't stop them. That line of scrimmage kept getting beat up today. CJ Stroud was sacked by Jonathan Grenard 3 times. Last year, Jonathan Grenard, I think, had like 11 sacks with us. And he was able to just dominate. So Shaq Mason, I seen a clip where Shaq Mason, missed an assignment, and they just came right up the middle and took CJ down, missing up the play. It's just gonna basically take some definitely some rearranging, because we're going into a gauntlet. We got an easy one, hopefully next week. It's at home. It's the Jags. The Jags are maybe coming into this thing winless, and they're going to be hungry though. And they seen this tape. Because see, you guys got to think about all of the fireworks that were getting put up by CJ last year. And guess when the fireworks stopped, guys? And it hasn't started back since. Guess when? Since that Baltimore Ravens playoff game. It's been get what he can find. He's been finding what he can find, but these games have been going pretty similar to that, where these defenses are figuring out what the Texans want to do. And you better believe that today we didn't solve that chess puzzle. And Brian Flores and company still aren't nobody still has broke the code yet. They're 3-0 to that new defense that they're running. And nobody has broken that code yet to the Brian Flores' defense. Nobody has won that chess match yet. I figured that they were gonna know what to put out there on the field against us, because they just played a similar and arguably the originator and arguably better offense in the 49ers. And we run our coaching staff is from that tree. So they're already prepared. And they played like they were prepared. You know? This was an embarrassment. This is the worst loss of the DeMeco Ryans regime. This is the worst loss of the DeMeco Ryans, regime. That was nobody was prepared. I don't know how they weren't prepared. I don't know, it was just too many penalties. First, I was listening to the Minnesota's broadcast, and they were like, hey, CJ's first interception and Kaimi's first missed field goal. And Kaimi wasn't on his game today. And so you can expect this, though. It's always a lot of times where people that do consistent, and the kicking part is on Kaimi, because nobody's there stopping him from making his field goals and punting the ball off at the right way, doing the after the touchdown scored or whatever. He gave the ball back to them at the 40 and they turned it into points. You don't want to basically you don't want to go into these vicious teams. You see these 2-0, you see they're dominating without being prepared. You can't make mistakes against guys like that. It's just not going to fly. You got Tim Settle was a high point today. I think that was an avenue that they should have explored more today, because Tim Settle was getting up that middle. He almost had 3 sacks on Darnold. I know he had 2. He was getting pressure up that middle because they were able to contain, for the most part, Daniil and Will. I think Will had one sack, but Daniil was pretty much rendered ineffective today. But Tim Settle was getting up in that middle. So I think that they focused like, hey, we're not going to get beat by Will Anderson, and we're not going to get beat by Daniil Hunter. And so Tim Settle, unsung hero, if the game had been won, he made a good impact on the day. And it's a copycat league. So I'm telling you, teams are going to see what Brian Flores has done against the Texans and against everybody else. And who knows? Maybe the Jags can try to implement something in their playbook to bring to us next week, because we're in trouble, man. Our offense has not been prolific as we thought it was going to be. We all banking on the offense being prolific and all these weapons we got between Diggs and, Nico, and, it just didn't work out that way today. And it hasn't been working out that way. I do anticipate those guys getting on the right track, though. It's just too many weapons. DeMeco is just too smart. I just see this being a great run towards the later ends of the season, because we're going to need that, though. We're going to need it. With the Bills coming in here, the Lions coming in here, we got to go to Kansas City. Bro, the Ravens, bro, you're going to have to be lined up right. Everything is going to have to be ironed out, because the games we've been playing and the type of way we've been winning, you're not going to be able to play these top-tier teams, Miami, yada, yada. You're not going to be able to play those guys. We got to go to Green Bay, and they doing their thing, even with Malik Willis. And we're going to have to be prepared, man. We're definitely going to have to be prepared. You do not want to go into these upcoming games and not have your setup ready, man. Because we're in trouble. we are in trouble. We obviously see it's trouble in paradise. And I'm telling you again, we're gonna revisit the fact that Laramie Tunsil was a huge cause of why we lost today. Slowick is gonna have to figure something out. Jonathan Grenard and Cormier Grugier Hill had big games against their former team today. You know, it's just something that we're going to work on. I'm sure they're going to work on it in practice. They need to prepare for other teams to give them that look. They need to prepare for other teams to give them that look. And something's going to have to shake with Laramie Tunsil, man. There's no way you can be called a all-pro left tackle, but yet still you're committing 5 to 6 penalties in one game just by yourself, killing drives. Jalen Petrie had that interception, had that holding call, which gave them the ball at the goal line. Hey, 20-yard penalty, 28-yard penalty, and it cost us, So, I don't know, man. It's getting tough. It was an ugly game today. Probably one of the more uglier losses I've seen from this team in a while. Even that Jets loss wasn't this bad. We had a bad loss against the Jets last year, and it wasn't this bad. And then you even still had an excuse because CJ was knocked out of that game. But this was ugly. We're gonna go and look at what Bobby Slowick is doing here by not getting his guys schemed out. They only had one receiver today. We got beat by one receiver for the most part. We got beat by one receiver for the most part, man. And again, it was just an ugly day. But again, we'll be able to regroup and come back next week with hopefully a better game plan. But then it's not as fun. We know you can beat up on the Jags. We know you were expected to even beat the Bears even worse than you did. But when it comes to this top tier competition with veteran experience and veteran coaching and scheming from veteran defensive coordinators like Brian Flores and whatever, you're going to have to show that you're going to be able to compete with the top of the pack. Because right now, I'm telling you guys, and this is a controversial statement, but right now, they're not looking like they're going to make it deep outside of this division letting us in. This division letting us in because the division is so bad again. We not ready at today. If today we was headed for the playoffs, we wouldn't be ready. Definitely wouldn't be ready. It just was too ugly. They not ready yet. They don't have all of the ducks in a row. It's just been too many week after week penalties and blown coverages and mismatches. There was no reason why Justin Jefferson should have been able to have the impact that he had on the game. He just came off of a hobbled game last week. He had a hurt hand today, and he still dominated. Cam Akers, he couldn't get it done. That offensive line couldn't get the push. They had that one good game against the Colts, but I don't know. Was Joe Mixon that much of a difference maker? Damian Pierce, could he have been affected today? I don't know. I said earlier though on the earlier today before the game that I didn't think we were going to outpass those guys, and we didn't. I felt as though we were going to have to slow that game down. I felt we were going to slow that game down by keeping the ball on the ground, but of course they couldn't run the ball as well either. They couldn't run the ball, but I mean, Cam Akers looked good in preseason and, whatnot, but he wasn't able to put it in act. I mean, we needed all hands on deck today. That's just what it was. It wasn't going. You couldn't put it all on CJ. He couldn't pull this one out. They were ready for him. They were ready for him constantly. It was like 3 different occasions where, CJ, the first drive of each new. The first play of each new drive, the first down of each new drive, he was getting sacked. So they were starting from negative, started out negative each drive, several drives. Couldn't get going. When you did get going, here come Laramie committing penalties and costing us big, man. So I'm a little disappointed because I expected, I expected to have a better showing than what we had today, guys. And I'm pretty sure we can all say we didn't even. It wasn't even competitive. That's the worst part of it all is that the game wasn't competitive at all. Down 14-0, trying to go into the half, ain't turn the ball over. You just can't. And I'm interested in seeing what the post interview says, what D'Amico has to say, and what are we going to do about the game plans going forward. And again, going up against the Jags and beating the Jags who we dominate, that's not impressive to us. So, yeah, we'll get the win more than likely next week. I'm not going to write them off because I know they're going to be hungry, especially if they lose tomorrow. It's just, they're going to be hungry. They're looking for blood. They're out for blood. We thrashed their season when they were leading in the season last year. Well, they thrashed their own season, but, we took it over at the last minute. We ran to the finish line. And right at the finish line, we crossed them. But, yeah, they're going to be coming for blood next week, so we're not going to overlook them. But if we beat them, yeah, but we always beat them. Yeah, but, if we win the division, yeah, but you keep losing against teams that you shouldn't lose against and teams that you should be able to put up a respectable showing. There's no reason for what we're seeing here on the field. I don't know. What we'll end up doing is just going through the week and hearing what the game plan is, seeing what the team has to say. But right now, it's not looking good, man. And there's nothing I can say to try to, this and that. The only thing I can say is that, hey, going forward, I do bank on this team being able to get into a groove at some point in the season. Hopefully it's not at the point to where we're out of the playoffs and whatever. I do expect that to happen. They're going to have to figure out something to do with Tank Dell too. They're going to have to figure out something to do with Tank. Because, yeah, he gets the ball today a bit, but he's not being utilized. And I felt like that could possibly be a problem. By just being too many all-stars. Sometimes it's not good to have so many stars on your team because everybody's going to game plan for each and every one of those guys. Sometimes it's a time and it can be a pro and a con because sometimes it's going to be some times where you will have guys that are under the radar, like Tank Dell was last year. Nobody was giving him a shot to think that he could do what he was doing before he got injured, and he was just going off. And now he became a household name. Everybody already knew to look out for Diggs. Nico had an electric year to end the year. For some reason, they can't stop him. I think he may have had the most yards today. Let's see who's the Texans' leading receiver for the day. I want to say it must have been it had to be Nico. I think Nico may have just edged out Diggs. I think last I checked, Diggs had like 70 yards. I think it had to be. Let's see here. Texans' leading receiver today against the Vikes was Stephon. Okay, he had 10 catches for 94 yards. 10 catches for 94 yards today. Okay. But at the same time, we already knew. I said in the episode earlier today that Nico Collins wasn't going to eat today like he did last week because all the rave has been on Nico Collins. And so the teams were going to game focus and plan and say, hey, we're not going to get beat by Nico. We're not going to lose by Nico. Nico is not going to beat us. We're going to find a way to negate Nico, which he had an okay day, but it wasn't the days he's been having. Sam Darnold went for 4 touchdowns today. He went for 4 touchdowns, two to Justin Jefferson. It just shouldn't have been no reason for that. One for Jones. He went 19 of 24. Let's see wait, I'm sorry, guys. He went I had his stat line pulled up. I'm sorry, guys. Today versus the Texans. Sam Darnold stats today versus the Texans. I'm gonna pull it up here. See. Oh, today, yeah. Sam Darnold threw for 181 and 4 touchdowns. Jalen Naylor, Aaron Jones, and Justin Jefferson, all 8 today. And I knew it. I said it. Sam Darnold's not going to be like, Caleb Williams. He's not a rookie. He ate today, man. He definitely ate, and we didn't. But it's things like this come. It happens to every team. It happens. We all have our losses and our lumps. I just want to get this thing figured out though, because we haven't been having a good offensive showing, a consistent, smooth where you feel like, okay, yeah, that was a dominant game. We dominated it since the Ravens game last year. They're gonna have to figure something out. Y'all let me know what you think, man. Who was it on today? Who was this loss based on? If you had to give your 2 cents on it, who would you say was the cause of what we went through today? Because to me, if you ask me, I'm gonna put it on Tunsil. I'm gonna put it on Tunsil. I'm gonna put it on the defense for not being prepared to stop Justin Jefferson, because there was just no way that he was supposed to eat the way that he ate. And you should have let those other. I would have forced it. They wouldn't have had as many points if you would have forced those other guys to beat you. Naylor or Aaron Jones. Force them to beat you. Justin Jefferson, everybody already knows he's the top dog in the NFL right now when it comes to receiver. He's just all he has it all. Speed, route running ability, the hands. We'll figure it out, man. What's going on. They're gonna tell us about it today when they get the press conference going. I don't think that the presser is on yet. Matter of fact, it probably is. But it just was an ugly loss, man. And I know a lot of us are worried. The ones that have sense are worried about the future of the near future of what we're going to do to solve these offensive woes and the defensive woes, because these guys are susceptible. Our corners are susceptible. They are. I mean, as good as they've been playing, Lassiter and Stingley and company, they will give up a big play, or they will be out of assignment. They will be out of assignment. They will, give up a deep ball. It just happens every game. They had one that was called back to Naylor. If it hadn't been for illegal blocking or illegal hands to the face or something, that illegal, whatever the dude tried to set a pick, and it wasn't the correct way to do it, and so that play was called back. I think that Lassiter may have been there with Naylor if it hadn't been for that pick that he had, that illegal, pick. But nevertheless, it shouldn't even got down to that point, and it never, we got down and we never made any noise. So y'all just let me know what y'all think, man, because I'm worried about the way that it's all set up with what our offense is looking like, and how they don't have everybody in the groove at this point in stage in the team's season. Nobody's on track right now. Nobody's CJ still looks a little rusty, you know. Uh D'Amico and the team just looks like it's just something. The defense, they've been looking okay, but not today. They dropped back down in rankings. They had to, because this was a bad showing. I don't know. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm out. I don't have much else to say. Hopefully we can recover from this bad loss sooner than later. And for me personally, it ain't gonna be with the beating the Jags, because we expected to beat the Jags. We better not lose to the Jags at home. But I definitely don't expect it to. I'm definitely not going to be excited once we get that win, because it's going to be considered an easy win, a yeah but type of win. So let's just see what we got, man, coming up when we get stiffer competition in here, see if we can get it corrected. Jags like our little brothers. Hey, they older than us, but hey, Jags are our little brothers. We're gonna be expected to beat your little brother. What about that dude that's your size or bigger? Let's see what you can get done. Thank you, guys. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have a blessed day. Like I say, go Texans, man. Let's just try to get this thing on the road, get it back on the right track, man, and we'll see where we at later on in the season. But for me personally, I'm not counting this Jags game coming up as a gauge or a metric. It'll feel good to get the win for sure, but not as a something to say, oh, we back on the right track. We expected to win that game. Anyway, I'm out. This your boy Daryl Blastoff. You've been checking out the Real Texans Talk. I'll let you, boy.